I was overjoyed to be marrying the man I loved, but the pouch my grandmother left behind urged me to run for my life. I instantly scanned everyone around me with heightened alertness, yet I could not figure out who would try to harm me on my wedding day. But I firmly believed grandmother's warning would not be wrong, because she had long been known as a renowned scholar of traditional classics. She had never made a mistake when helping others avoid disaster, and her pouch had already saved me once before. This made me recall the day she was on her deathbed. Grandmother, who never read fortunes for family, suddenly told me my fate was troubled, and I would soon face 3 deadly calamities. She then took out 3 pouches, hoping to help me survive them safely. For the first pouch, grandmother instructed me to personally give it to the 70th person who came to offer incense after her passing. As for the second pouch, she told me to open it on my wedding day. This immediately sent my mother into a fury. She believed grandmother had grown confused with age. She insisted nothing bad could possibly happen to her daughter, but I quietly took grandmother's words to heart. So when the funeral came, I began keeping track of everyone offering incense. Yet as the ceremony was about to end, only 69 people had come forward, and the 70th person still had not appeared. Mother therefore decided grandmother's final words were nonsense. As the guests were about to leave, she prepared to take down the mourning hull, but at that moment the 70th person finally arrived. He was dressed entirely in black with a cap pulled low, his face completely hidden. After offering incense, he picked up an umbrella and turned to leave. I hurriedly called out to the mysterious man and took out grandmother's first pouch to hand to him, but the moment he read the note inside, he fled in terror. I grew curious about what could have been written, and when I finally saw the words, my face also turned pale. Mother rushed over and picked up the note, but she saw only a few ordinary names. She could not understand what was frightening about them until a neighbor told her that the names belonged to girls recently raped and murdered in the village, all of them attacked at night and dying in horrific conditions. Mother unfolded the note again and saw my name as well. Fear gripped my heart. The man from earlier had been the killer, and grandmother's pouch had saved me from becoming the next victim. I feared he would return for me, so I begged mother to take me back to the city, but she still refused to believe grandmother's warning, insisting everything was just coincidence. I told her the killer might come back to harm me again, but she remained cold and unmoved, and still refused to take me back, saying she had other things to do and left. Mother abandoned me just like that. That night I curled up alone in bed, unable to sleep, clutching grandmother's portrait and begging her to protect me. Suddenly the motion light on the first floor lit up, a light that only turns on when someone enters. I forced myself to the window and saw the door downstairs had been opened. Then I heard someone prying at the lock. I realized the killer had come for me. I was terrified, but there was no one living near my grandmother's house, and no one could save me. Hearing the intruder's footsteps approaching my room, I felt utterly hopeless. At that moment I missed my grandmother deeply. I remembered her telling me to stay bold and calm in times of danger, so I forced myself to calm down. Then I rushed to the door and locked it. After that I grabbed a glass and threw it out of the window, trying to scare the intruder off. Then I quickly crawled under the bed, but the intruder did not fall for it and soon located my room. He began walking toward the bed. Just as he was about to lift the mattress, I covered my mouth with all my strength, but he only squatted down to tie his shoelaces. Then he suddenly turned around and left. After his footsteps completely faded, I crawled out carefully to check. The intruder asked, "How did you know I was the killer?" I was so weak from being strangled. He then tried to assault me. I screamed desperately for help, but it was pouring outside and no one was around. No matter how loudly I yelled, no one would come. Just when I reached the brink of despair, 2 police officers suddenly burst in and subdued the intruder. They then told me, still shaken, "We received a text message a few days ago. That was why we came to patrol this area, and we happened to catch him in the act." They said I was lucky, but I knew it was my grandmother's foresight, because I clearly remembered a few days before she passed away. She gave me all her bank books, and she also gave me a police officer's number. She told me to memorize it and call him whenever I was in danger. At that moment I realized deeply that even without her by my side, she was still protecting me. That gave me endless courage. Later my mother took me to live with my stepfather, and I was arranged to sleep on the balcony. It was freezing in winter and scorching in summer. Whenever it rained I had to curl up in a corner to sleep. Even though my mother favored my brother, even though my stepfather was harsh and irritable, ignoring my existence, even though my 6-year-old brother called me a freeloader and useless and told me to get out, I never lost heart or held resentment. Whenever I looked at my grandmother's silk pouch, I felt her love. 5 years passed quickly and I grew into a young woman. I even met a gentle, considerate boyfriend from a good family. I thought I had finally found someone who loved and cherished me like my grandmother, but I never expected he would become my second deadly trial. On the day of my wedding, I took out my grandmother's second silk pouch. Inside there was only one word: run. I felt as if struck by lightning. Why should I run? Who was I supposed to avoid? Where was I supposed to run to? This was supposed to be my happy wedding day. Who would possibly want to harm me?